Okay, so for our next example, we need to again make sure that the squared portion is by itself. And in this case, we can see that it's already by itself, so all we can do now is make sure that we take the square root of both sides. So that would cancel out, that's that exponent, and we have on the other side, we're going to have x plus 3 is equal to the square root of 20. Now the square root of 20 can be simplified by splitting it into square root of 4 and square root of 5. So taking the square root of 4, we have 2 square root of 5. And remember that it's positive and negative. And then x plus 3. So then to leave the x by itself, we have to move the 3 to the other side, and we're going to do that by subtracting 3 on both sides. So x should be equal to negative 3 plus or minus 2 square root of 5. And we can't really combine that negative 3 with that 2 square root of 5 because the 3 is by itself. It would require us to have a square root of 5 attached to it. So this is our final answer. It would be negative 3 plus 2 square root of 5 and negative 3 minus 2 square root of 5. That's two answers right there. Okay, so same thing on the other side. But remember, this one isn't by itself. We have to move that 2 first. And we are going to do that by subtracting 2 on both sides. Let's go ahead and make it a different color. So we're going to do negative 2 on both sides. That cancels out, and we have 5x minus 2 squared is equal to negative 7 minus 2 would be negative 9. Now we take the square root of both sides, and now this cancels out, and we're left with 5x minus 2 is equal to square root of negative 9. Now the negative 9 is a perfect square, but it is a negative. So the square root of 9 would be 3, but since it's negative, it's going to have to be imaginary. And of course, that's still plus or minus 3i. So now we finish this off by solving for x. So we would add 2 to both sides. We would have 5x. This cancels out, and we would have 5x is equal to 2 plus or minus 3i. Now we can't add the 2 and the 3i because one's imaginary and one's a real number. So our final step would be to divide by 5 on both sides. That cancels out, and so x should be equal to 2 plus or minus 3i over 5. Now, we can't simplify this any further, so that would be our final answer. It would be two answers again, 2 plus 3i over 5 and 2 minus 3i over 5.